Good morning. This is Ken Bohanan. I'm here with my wife, Phyllis, and we're here to talk about marriage. And there's a couple things I'd like to say to start off with. Um, Phyllis and I have been married for 43 years, so we definitely believe in marriage. We have 3 children. One unfortunately is deceased, and then 6 grandchildren as well. They're blessings to us, and had we not been married and stuck together this long, we would not be able to see the fruits of our labors and also our children and their children. So it's been a blessing to us to persevere through our marriage. I mean, you know, and everybody else knows that there's ups and downs in marriages, and it's something you have to really work at and pray about and have God in your life in order to succeed and to be in this marriage as long as we have. And we've seen a lot of things come and go, family and friends, marriages who have dissolved, unfortunately, but you know, we're still here and we're still plugging away, and we'll continue to do that because we fight for our marriage and we fight for ourselves.
Yeah, so like Ken said, we'll be celebrating 43 years. And when Ken and I met, we met on the basketball court. That was what our commonality was. But once we got married, we came to realize that we had a lot of differences with each other. And so it was like he said, it had to take a lot of work. It had to take a lot of faith. But when Ken and I married, not only did him and I speak vows to each other, but we were speaking to God. God was a part of our covenant of marriage. And so when we said that we would, you know, for better or for worse, we were saying it with him as well. So there have been a lot of times where we wanted to throw in the towel, where we wanted to give up. And so I was always reminded that, hey, you made a promise to God that you were going to stick with him no matter what. So I had to learn a lot of things about how to work on this marriage. And one of the things that I've really tried to understand a little bit better is focus on the good. Ken has a lot of good qualities about him. He's a great hard worker. He's a good provider. But of course, there were the negatives as well. But if I stayed on the negative, it would have just, taken me away from him. But looking at the positive things in his life, it just really helps me to understand why I fell in love with him in the first place. And then the other thing that I had to learn was when we were having these situations, these arguments, disagreements, I had to learn to go to the Lord and to pray. And usually when I did that, God always showed me what was wrong with Phyllis. And those were the things that I had to change. But for Ken, he said to cast him into my hands. Put him into my hands, Phyllis, and I'm going to take care of that. But this is what I need you to do in your life. This is what I need you to make a difference. And that was really a good eye-opener for me. I had to learn to develop patience. Again, we got married young. Ken was 18 and I was 21 years old. And so we had a lot of things to learn. And we started off with our first son, right within the first year of marriage. And so we had a lot of just different situations that were changing in our lives. And so I had to learn to have patience, to trust God, that when I prayed, that when I asked for different situations, that God was going to be faithful and he was going to take care of us. And then we had to learn, of course, to communicate. Communication is very important. I learned that I had to learn how to use I statements. Not say you, but I feel like this, Ken, when you said this to me. So communication was so vital. And then, of course, the number one thing was always just to trust God. Put every situation into his hands. Don't allow the strife into our marriage because it's the enemy who comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus came that we would have life to the full and abundance to the overflow. So I love our marriage. I love my husband. I love my family. And it can be done when you allow God in your life.